Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, I want to thank you for coming out this afternoon and early evening. I appreciate your doing so very, very much. Usually on Sundays, I do try to come out in the early evening. Bear just getting a bit of an echo. Today, we're going to be talking about milk. Before I do so, I want to say hi to Oklahoma, Lip Lock No More, Miss Justice. Thank you very much. I'm sure Carrie and Miss Cosplay will be along with shortly as soon as they possibly can. Who said what? Teresa Nelson, thank you, everybody. Palm Patrol, thank you. And let's see here. Who else is with me today? Sugar Mama, thank you very much for coming out. Kate, thank you for coming out. I appreciate that. So, milk. Everybody for the longest of time, and I did not really truly comment on, has always focused on one particular picture. And that's this picture right here. Miss Summer Wells on June 15th, 2021, as we're led to believe, she's sleeping on milk jugs. We're led to believe that this is coming from Kingsport, specifically Priceless in Kingsport, on the way home. Few things I've learned about milk jugs. And yes, we're going to go all detail on this. This area right here is a design purpose. If in a milk jug that this area, this puck area, I believe is what they refer to, is actually extended outwards, it's a sign that the milk has actually have been full of bacteria and is no longer good, as it's trying to expand and put more pressure on the internal that is designed to pop out as a warning sign. Each brand of milk is very specific. Their branding, just like any other product, usually their label, although standardized as far as what color is used for what, meaning whole milk, 1%, 2%, skim milk, all that variance, usually follow a red, blue, or lighter blue or color scheme. This particular brand appears, though I could not find a good picture on it to zoom in on, appears to be Prairie Farms, which we'll get into that more later. Lip Lock, you know me. When I go deep, I go deep. I go for it. The link that I put into this into the live description today is actually the description that is the link to where this conversation this extends from originally was. It was Thursday night. It was late night. I couldn't sleep. Dolores Hayes, thank you for coming out. Find Summer's Truth, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. John Q, how are you doing, sir? Thank you, Miss Justice, for putting that out there for me. It is true. This content is for entertainment purposes only and not necessarily fact, allegedly, and an opinion only. I will 100% say that this is an opinion. Oh, Sherry, thank you very much. It's going to raise eyebrows. It's going to make you question what you know. But that's what I intend to do today. When did they purchase the milk? Where did they purchase the milk? Anybody know when and where they actually purchased the milk? Because I ran into some information in that live that I posted a link of. Hello, Patricia. Thank you very much. Because of a conversation that we were having in the chat that spilled over into the live itself. Makes me question a lot of things about this video this still shot comes from. Kate, you're right. They said priceless. Sammy JS Paro or Sammy J Sparrow, my apologies. Thank you very much, Liplock. She is here with us right now. This is going to be an interesting one. And Liplock, thank you very much for recommending my channel out. German Shepherd Mom. I believe, yes, it was really milk. Not sure time, but maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish. Okay, interesting. I'm not saying what's right or wrong at the moment. Kathy Niffin, you're fine. Don't worry. We're just getting started. We're questioning the legitimacy today of this photo as well as the video it comes from. Let's take a look at that video. Now, this comes from Evil Exists. It's only a minute and 25 seconds long. And this is the video, and I'm going to play the audio on it.
Something that bothers me a lot is the milk jug video. I know we have talked about it 100 times, and it just seems too odd that it's an accidental video. I do not for 1 second believe that it was an accidental video, or that she was trying to show Summer sleeping with her hands above her head like Dawn. I strongly believe that the milk jug video was taken for a reason. Anyway, we're not going to go into that again. Today, I want to talk about Grandma's truck and the fact that all the windows were up, no AC on, and Summer had a tracksuit on. So, it was a very hot day according to Candace. She said it was so hot in fact that she put Summer in her swimming suit before they left home because Summer always gets too hot. She also said that Summer always wants the windows rolled down. So, it was really hot after swimming, but I understand that children get cold after being in the water, so Candace put Summer in that tracksuit, the same tracksuit she was supposed to wear to her first day of school. Summer was basically the only one swimming in the water that day. Hunter seemed to go in, but I'm not sure if Hunter went completely in the water or just splashed around about knee height. So, driving home that day, all the windows were up, no AC on in the truck, and Summer was in a tracksuit. I believe that would have been incredibly uncomfortable, as Summer was awake all that time until about 2 minutes before they arrived home, according to Candace. Do you believe Summer only fell asleep about 2 minutes before they arrived at home, and then jumped up as soon as they got home? Something about this milk jug video is not adding up to me.
Okay, so that's the video. If you guys didn't see it, I may have not had it on. I'll be more than happy to play it again. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's play it one more time here. Just to make sure I did share it, because I have the habit of not sharing things accidentally, as you all know. Let's just make sure it's shared and watch it one more time. Make sure everybody catches on what is going on in what he's saying. My apologies. Just taking a moment, make sure I get this shared and make sure everybody gets to see this.
Something that bothers me a lot is the milk jug video. I know we have talked about it 100 times, and it just seems too odd that it's an accidental video. I do not for 1 second believe that it was an accidental video, or that she was trying to show Summer sleeping with her hands above her head like Dawn. I strongly believe that the milk jug video was taken for a reason. Anyway, we're not going to go into that again. Today, I want to talk about Grandma's truck and the fact that all the windows were up, no AC on, and Summer had a tracksuit on. So, it was a very hot day according to Candace. She said it was so hot in fact that she put Summer in her swimming suit before they left home because Summer always gets too hot. She also said that Summer always wants the windows rolled down. So, it was really hot after swimming, but I understand that children get cold after being in the water, so Candace put Summer in that tracksuit, the same tracksuit she was supposed to wear to her first day of school. Summer was basically the only one swimming in the water that day. Hunter seemed to go in, but I'm not sure if Hunter went completely in the water or just splashed around about knee height. So, driving home that day, all the windows were up, no AC on in the truck, and Summer was in a tracksuit. I believe that would have been incredibly uncomfortable, as Summer was awake all that time until about 2 minutes before they arrived home, according to Candace. Do you believe Summer only fell asleep about 2 minutes before they arrived at home, and then jumped up as soon as they got home? Something about this milk jug video is not adding up to me.
Something about this milk jug video is not adding up to me either. Let's take a closer look at this image here. And we're also going to take a look at one other piece of information. A couple more pieces actually today. One piece I forgot to bring up earlier for myself. So let's take a look at this one right here. So we have this suspicion that right now that the milk was bought around 1:30, 2 o'clock. And that I don't know about you or anybody else, but I don't like milk to be sitting in a car very long. Not on a summer day, not on any day of the week. And let's see here. Is that the right website? No, that's not the right one. So I started to question myself, why, how long has this milk been truly in this vehicle? And how much, let's see here. Which is this it? Yes, this is it. And how long could milk actually be good for standing in a vehicle or in standing in any kind of conditions that's not refrigerated? This is Prepared Cooks, website I've gone to a couple times where if I look up some information that I just don't know off the top of my head. This is a blog. I like to cook. I like to bake. So it's not uncommon to me to look at things that are like not in my normal of like I know how to make this type of deal, so I don't have to look it up. If I have to look up something, I try to find some stuff like this. So it's an article that somebody wrote on their blog about how long is milk good for. How long can milk stay in a car? If the car stays under 40 degrees, milk will last as long as it would have if it was refrigerated. Standard refrigerator temperatures is 40 degrees or between 40 and 32. That's a standard refrigerator temperature. Milk would last 3 to 4 hours at 40 to 60 degrees. 2 hours if it's between 60 and 90 degrees. And only 30 to 60 minutes at a temperature over 90 degrees. For those of us that had been with me for a long time, we done extensively looked into what the temperature was in the car, what it would have been on the day that Summer was in the car when they went to Priceless. Or did they go to Priceless? Or what did they get at Priceless? The reason I'm asking that question will build up, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. And Lip Lock No More, I saw you wanted to stay in the background and hear what I have to say and look at what I have to say. But you're really going to want to see this as well. So this is not the original website I'm going to show you in a moment that I used before. Actually, let me go ahead and here's the website I used before. I'm going to share this in just a moment here. As soon as I get this pulled up, I appreciate your patience, folks. All right. So this is goodcalculators.com. We used this website before to show this information. At 85 degrees temperature outside, remember, despite what everybody else is saying about the temperature on June 15th, at the time that Summer would have been at Priceless, it would have been no more than 85 degrees outside. The temperature that day was, one, not humid, and approximately the time of day that they would have been at, going by the average temp for the day, or going by the temperature that day, would have been about 80 to 85 degrees. I roughly estimate to be 83 if I remember, but I don't know exactly. They were in Priceless for 45 minutes. But by the coworkers, they were in there for 45 minutes. The inside car air temperature, as you just heard, Evil Exists says there's no air conditioning in that vehicle. The windows were up when it was traveling. At 80 to 85 degrees, the temperature in that vehicle would be approximately 124.5 degrees. So that milk could not have lasted more than 30 minutes and been bad. But why am I making an issue of this? We've gone over the temperature extensively. Extensively have gone over the temperature of the vehicle. Sometimes being a local resident to something happening, you get a unique perspective. Not a brag, not a, you just understand your area that you're living in differently. Does anybody disagree with me that the label of that milk jug says Prairie Farms? Let's take a look at that again. You can't get a clear picture on this. But does anybody disagree with me that label says Prairie Farms? because this is where we're about to get really, really interesting. Priceless website has a little bit of a unique feature where you can actually go there and you can build a grocery list, an online grocery list. And it's of all the items that they have in the store, not just their brand name, not just what they have on sale. I'm about to show you something. I'm loading it right now. That may make you change your mind about where they got the milk. And here it is. This is priceless.com website. It is tuned into being the store location that they would have gone to, which is South John B. Dennis in Kingsport. This is Always Save brand. This is Best Choice brand. United. Some brand Purity chocolate milk. Prairie Farms. Let me just double check, because I think I erased my internet memory the other day, so it may not be tuned into my store. Let's take a look at that list again. Got America's Choice, America's Choice, America's Choice. Westover chocolate milk, Mayfield Dairy Farms. Where did Prairie Farms go? Got Borden. I apologize if I'm scrolling through this a little bit faster than I did before. But the point is, Prairie Farms is not sold at that location. We're getting to coffee and Nesquik, Carnation Inns of Breakfast, coffee creamers, silk and milk alternatives, Mayfield buttermilk. The location on South John B. Dennis Now, granted, I'm going to tell you that the caveat on this is that they were looking at what they carry now, but I'm telling you this did not change any. Horizon Organic. They didn't all of a sudden change that this particular location of all the other locations doesn't carry Prairie Farms. And that was, again, True Mood chocolate milk there at the end. Priceless is very specific about what brands it will and will not carry. And in this particular case, T.O. girl, that is a possibility. But I showed you, though, that brands were being carried. This brand was being carried at other locations, not at South John B. Dennis. It was never at South John B. Dennis. So did they get the milk at the Walgreens earlier in the day? Did they get this at a different store? Dollar General being a possibility. When you look at the photo of her leaning on the milk jugs, is there any signs of a cold item being out on a hot day? Granted, my apologies, I had to sneeze. Granted, it's going to be hard to tell if the milk is sweating, as would normally happen, a cold item collecting moisture from the air on its surface. Also in that video, the Evil Exists says that the temperature, the windows of the car were rolled up. But there's a lot of wind noise for a rolled up window. So were they traveling with the window open? If so, why has this not affected the hood of the shirt or jacket that Summer is wearing? I don't know about you, or when you had kids, or remember back to when you were a kid and you had a windbreaker or a jacket that had a hood to it. If windows were open and it got the hood catches the wind, if not 100% open, it wouldn't lay flat and flaccid rather on her shoulder. Mr. Michigan, thank you for coming out. Mr. Michigan, you got to the point where I'm going with this. Walgreens and CVS, as well as the grocery stores, major grocery stores, Food City, Ingles, Walmart, your convenience stores are where you find this brand of milk. So did they, when they were at Walgreens earlier in the day? Hello, Oreo. Thank you very much for coming out. Louisiana Girl 61. Thank you very much for coming out. Angela McKenzie. I also see you. Diane Solomon. Thank you. Diane, that was me. That was me. And we'll go into that in just a moment. We're going to, for that point, we're going to have to go pull up a map on that one. But so everybody just sees what I'm talking about. Why we're going to get into a map in a moment. That was me that made that comment, and I'll show you that information once again. Teresa, I don't drink milk, but I do know where things are located and where they're located, where you can get them in my area. I may not purchase it, but I do pay attention to what is available. The Grandis or Hunter may maybe go into Walmart off of Fort Henry. I do remember Leslie telling Chris M they need to check those cameras at Walmart of Fort Henry. Okay, so if nobody remembers, if anybody does remember, you probably got your congratulations because you might have better memory of this of mine than mine. But Candace is not allowed at the Walmart on Fort Henry. If she goes to Walmart, she has to go out to the one on 11W. And even then, she's not exactly welcomed. Making a threat to blow up a building kind of makes you not welcomed at other locations. So let's take a look at this comment about WIC and the food bank. No, she's not the type that she. Okay, we'll take a look at this real quick as well. She is definitely not the Betty Crocker, Paula Deen type. Do you remember what we talked about that was purchased at Priceless? The kind of things that she purchased at Priceless, or supposedly purchased at Priceless, was packs of meat or pre-sliced cheese that you could probably get for $1 per pack. Frozen pizzas that are, again, probably going to cost about $1. It's not that they didn't have the money for food if they prioritize things correctly. It's that they refuse to prioritize things. Kate, so the Dollar General is right next door to Priceless. So it's going to be difficult to tell if they went to one or the other. We were told they went to Priceless. But if they added on going into Dollar General, we're now an hour plus of Summer being in the car in 120, a car temperature that reached 24.5 degrees in 45 minutes. This is making bigger problems into putting Summer Moon Utah Wells' health in jeopardy on June 15th. Martha, you're right. Hot dogs. Yep. Forgive me, guys. I'm typing something up. Since somebody questioned something, I'm going to gladly point this out. Let me just get a Google map set up. Right now, Google Maps wants to put me in Australia. Thank you. You're going to have to forgive me for a moment. It's been a minute since I've been over in this area. Okay, found it. Okay, so this is downtown Kingsport area. All right. This is the high school. This is a Food City location. This is where the mall is over here. I don't think I'm sharing, so bear with me one moment so I can redo that. Yes, I am. Good. So we're going to zoom in onto one particular grocery store, Food City location, that is right off of the downtown area. Let's see here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Right here in front of me. Let's let it focus and zoom. There it goes. So a big attraction here in Kingsport, downtown area, is these buildings over here. This actually houses is a park, and this building here is houses a carousel, fully operating carousel. This is a Food City location just off of downtown area. Press Street, West Center Street, Arch Street, all in this area. This building right here is where they will, and now it's been, like I said, it's been a minute since I've been there. So this location could have moved, but I don't believe it would have moved because of all the parking and availability. And this is being ran by Kingsport. They will have farmers market location here, as well as when a person that is on food stamps, they can go, yes, an actual horse carousel ride. A person can go to this location, and I believe it's like once a month or twice a month or something like that. You can go and get what they call shelf staple items like powderized milk or dehydrated milk or whatever you want to call it, or others non-name brand items that are shelf stable items. And you can get, I believe it's like a 5-pound brick of American cheese that they'll give you as well, that you have to slice yourself. So they do have that kind of service or that kind of thing going on in Kingsport, and that's at this location. Just to answer the question of where, if that happens, where does it happen? Well, let's just take a look at this in one more second here. I'm going to take this off of sharing for just a moment. And why I'm doing this, Food City is one of those locations that you can get this particular brand of milk. If that was the case, that they went to that location and purchased milk or got other grocery items, let's take a look at, and let me just double check one thing here. 1 second. Sorry, folks. I don't want Google Maps to be giving out where I actually live. So bear with me one moment here. Just double checking to make sure it's not pinpointing where I live. Okay, so we're good. From the Powell's Roundhouse, which is where the carousel is, to 110 Ben Hill Road, it will take approximately 23 to 24 minutes. Perfect driving conditions on this time of day today. It'll take 23 to 24 minutes. Just long enough for that milk to still be good. I personally, because they never mentioned going to Food City at any time of the day, that was part of that, not part of their agenda that day. What I honestly believe was that while they were picking up the prescription, and had enough time to do shopping at Walgreens, would have gone in Walgreens and bought milk. Prairie Farms. Around here, Prairie Farms is probably a mid-level milk, even though it's still going with the same standards of whole milk is this, and 2% is this, and 1% is this, and skim milk is this. That all has to do with the amount of cream that is left in milk when they're pasteurizing it, preparing and packaging it. It has nothing to do with anything else but the percentage of cream. They're leaving in it. If they had gone and purchased this milk at Walgreens, when they went and filled the prescription, again, it is difficult to see in this picture, so I'm not going to 100% say this has got to be the answer. While this photo, you can't see, or there is no sign of there being, because this is just a photo. There's other photos where you can see the seat. Why there's no moisture, the seat being wet, no signs of dripping water from the gallons of milk. Yes, God's Girl 1971. Yes, that is correct. that at one point on June 15th, that Summer, for those who have not heard, that when it was being questioned whether or not what did Summer eat anything that day, Candace has said that Summer had hot dogs for breakfast. Lucy Cat, yes, that would actually make sense. Not every single grocery store is approved to accept WIC. And to be honest, Summer would be aging out of WIC very soon. Blank, thank you for coming out. And if I've missed you in the live here, guys, I really do thank everybody for coming out. I apologize. I'm jumping around. Usually I'm right on top of the live and staying up with comments and things like that. But today is one of those days where I got to show you this stuff. Just like that video I did about that one website. It's plain and simple. I just have to show you. Mr. Renegade, thank you for coming out. Renegade is actually the person that I had this conversation started with. So thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate you doing so. Renegade was the person that was questioning the milk. And I chased the rabbit hole. Kate, you back then, there was no formula shortage. That's been within the past year. Exactly, folks. This is what I'm saying. This is why this is a major problem that has gone unnoticed. If they bought the milk at Walgreens when they were at Walgreens, by the time, unless this trip, because I don't believe that this trip was we went to the store, we stopped at Walgreens and we went right back home, because Hunter said they went to the park. This is not a trip into town and go get what we need to get and go back home to get the groceries out of the vehicle. That's not when this happened. This happened in the afternoon. I believe, as somebody suggested earlier, 1:30, 2 o'clock is a very legitimate time frame for this. Tracy with an I, thank you very much for coming out. Debbie H, thank you as well. So up to this point is what we had said in that conversation on the live that I put a link down to on from Thursday night. And here's what the business about the temperature of the vehicle really came to play when I found the other information about the milk and how that it would not be good in the heat of a summer day sitting in a car for half an hour. Renegade, I can actually from what I know, that particular store location had opened not long before Summer went missing. I don't remember the exact date. That's still a fairly new store. And I don't believe they've actually ever changed their brands. Priceless in this area is a store that would be for the person that has the ultra budget. As I was mentioning, the $1 pizzas, the $1 packs of meat and cheese. That you would probably eat if you were staying in a hotel on a tight budget around here. Just being honest. Hotels aren't extremely expensive, but if you wanted to be budget savvy and wanted to have sandwiches at a hotel room, not because the quality of meat's there, but because to be budget savvy, you would go to Priceless and buy those packets of meat. Some bread, maybe some mustard or mayo, whatever, just to have a quick lunch or a quick bite to eat. No, Renegade, you're raising a legitimate question, and that's a caveat that I'm saying. Look, I'm raising a question tonight, and that is the legitimate question that I really cannot prove, but I do believe that they did not change the brands that they carry. And I even pulled up what I was trying to pull up. What I was trying to get Dumpling to pull up the other night when we were talking about this. Just so everybody can see it again. You go to priceless.com, pricelessfoods.com. Look for location South John B. Dennis. You can build a virtual grocery list by going to shop, and then you go under dairy, the more selection, milk and cream. And this is what the store carries. There are other stores that carry that brand of milk. It's not this location. I'm not going to sit there and scan through the whole entire list again. But that's where it comes from. The most troubling thing is, again, I'm going to put out there, if I am correct, Angela McKenzie, you're exactly right. Huntress, thank you very much for coming out. Huntress, I still got to send you that one link. I have not forgotten. I've just not done so. So now that I think about it, I will do that tonight. I'll get that tonight sent out. I apologize. Hello, Carrie. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate your support as always. Going by what Angela McKenzie said here again, just so everybody saw what I was talking about. Just looked up Dollar General, and ours doesn't sell Prairie Farms, but Walgreens does. So Dollar General is a very cookie cutter store, meaning what one store carries, the other one is going to carry as well. Those usually don't. They're very contract. It's like going into McDonald's and expecting them to carry Pepsi products. They're specifically contract to have only these items. It's their brand marketing. You can go into one and you can go into another. It might be, if it's the same size store or maybe a little bit smaller, they might have lesser quantity, but you're going to find the same items. As I showed before, some Priceless locations do carry the Prairie Farms brand, but we cannot find evidence of this store carrying that brand. Carrie, my mod, has for a long time actually questioned not only this photo, still photo, which is taken from the video itself, and has actually pointed out something that I never knew. So, Miss Carrie, thank you very much. With TikTok, you can splice two different videos together and not even have it look like or need extras equipment to actually merge those videos, to splice them or split them, or however you want to, however TikTok calls it. I don't never looked it up. To merge those videos so they're seamless and make them look like one. Carol, Prairie Farms, when it comes to milk, that's actually one of those items that does not get brought in from possibly anything other than Canada if you live up along the Canadian border. But it has to meet US standards. It's not brought in from overseas and would not be brought into Tennessee from overseas. It would be too long to, it would be too much to truck it in for the a price that milk costs. I was mentioning earlier, Prairie Farms is a mid-level brand around here. You have your store brand. You have like Borden and Prairie Farms as your mid-level brand. And then you have Mayfield. I showed you that one earlier. That is your high-end brand. You're going to pay your premium of $6, $7 for a gallon of milk from them. Whereas this is probably going to cost you about $4, and the store brand is going to cost you about $3.50. America's Choice, $3.33 plus 10%. Would it faded? I'm simply saying no. I'm not saying assuming it's from. I'm saying it's a possible location that they could have gotten the milk. The other location would be Food City, Ingles, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS. I believe Renegade. If you correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody went on the live Thursday night, actually looked up the website for Prairie Farms, where you can find their products, and it listed everywhere but Priceless. The rest of the grocery stores and a lot of your like Walgreens, CVS, and I believe we also listed some convenience stores here in Kingsport, but none of them listed Priceless. Not a problem. Would have folded. Faded. I appreciate the question. It was a good question to ask. So it looks like we have a problem with this video that this still actually comes from. I'm going to go back to this. Gonna go back to this still shot photo. Again, it's from the video that I showed you, which is the Evil Exist video is part of. In that video, you can hear noise of wind. A window would have to be open for wind to be heard. I don't care what age of their vehicle. That is the sound of wind whipping into a vehicle or passing through, getting some sort of disturbance, some sort of turbulence. Just as much as an airplane experiences turbulence, it makes noise. Why does it look like this is a still photo or a photo from another video that she would have not had an issue with the hood being affected by the wind? I was making mention earlier, to me, it was the most annoying thing to have a hood on. I'll be honest, I don't wear a coat in the winter unless it's like going to be what I would say is hypothermia type of weather. Rain, ice, snowing during the day, where you're going to get wet, your body temperature is going to lower, and you're going to cause yourself issues. I don't wear coats. I don't like them. Never have. But the most annoying thing when I was forced to wear a coat to me was, or a rain jacket or whatever, that type, windbreaker type of deal, was the hood. The wind getting caught up in the hood and it blowing around and trying to, that annoyed me. So why is the hood of this jacket or shirt not being affected by the wind, folks? As I was saying, Carrie has pointed out that you can splice videos together. Back in the day, we would call it splicing. You can merge two videos together on their website or on when you're setting up a video for them, and it looks seamless. Is this photo, and I'm just asking a question that I want everybody to consider, is this a photo from a different video? This screenshot, but from the video itself, from a different video that they spliced together. I know there's a lot of moving parts to that. There has to be a lot of moving parts where, the same person has to be driving and the same person has to be in the passenger seat. And you have to have the same phone or whatever, same quality of video and everything like that. But is that possibly what happened here? The more I see this, the more I research this brand of milk, I have red flags raised up, folks. I'm saying that there's a major question that we need to be asking that's not being asked. God's girl, make sure you're looking at the right location. Make sure you're looking at South John B. Dennis. South John B. Dennis is the location that the Wells went to on June 15th. Carrie, I don't think you have to do that. If you want to, you can do that. But this store, this right here, this Priceless page, Priceless Foods, Kingsport, South John B. Dennis. This is not a sales ad. This is what they have under their feature of the shop feature here, which you can make a grocery list from, a virtual grocery list. Click on the item. You can put add to cart. And it builds you a grocery list. Come on, load for me. There we go. It might not have a photo of every single item as you guys see here, but it's showing you what the store carries. So you can build that virtual grocery list. And in none of the milk and dairy section here does it list Prairie Farms items. I'll go through it again. I'm going a little fast here, guys, but we're just going through it again here real quick here. It does not have Prairie Farms items listed anywhere where you can build this list. These items are just not available at this location. They're just not there. Sure, absolutely. Hang on one second here. So I was asked if you didn't catch see where I'm being asked. Can you do a search for Prairie Farms to see if anything comes up? Prairie Farms milk. Did you mean Prairie Farm Simple Milk, Prairie Farm, Prairie Milk, Prairie Arm, Prairie Fam? We're sorry, no products are found within the given search criteria. Yes. Renegade, you're exactly right. That was the one item that was found at Prairie Farms that was carried at this location was ice cream. That's why I specifically put in Prairie Farm milk. Thank you for pointing that out. That is actually good to point out? Um, Unfortunately, the way that God's girl, the way that YouTube is set up is that if you're not a model on a video, it doesn't allow you to post links. Okay. I know what you're saying. I ran into it at the beginning of the video. I realized that I didn't. I had recently erased my memory on my browser where I had put in my zip code and selected South John B. Dennis as location. And I had to show to another location or a general website location, and it did list Prairie Farms on the website on that list. But when you go and put in go by search location, entering 37660, which is the zip code for Kingsport, and select South John B. Dennis, which is the important thing because they went to South John B. Dennis Priceless. How do we know that? You go back to what H had said when he actually was interviewed by Chris McDonough. He wasn't specific about the location, but described it enough that his I believe it was his mom or Leslie was sitting there at the table with him, said, "Oh yeah, South John B. Dennis, the Priceless on South John B. Dennis." That's where they had gone. Doesn't make sense. Things are not adding up, and it's in a bad way. This is in a bad way that things are not adding up. Green eyes, we're not talking about them being swimming right now. We're talking about them specifically going to a store and purchasing groceries. And why I now have issues that I had not previously commented on this particular photo in this particular video. Why I'm coming out and saying that there is enough information here that it's raising a red flag, and I have issues with the legitimacy of it now. You're right, Renegade. A lot of stuff on this day does not make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. From any time frame that they would have purchased the milk, if they had purchased it when they were at Walgreens earlier in the day, to the milk barely being good if they did purchase it at a price less for the length of time that it would have taken to gotten home. I used to live up in Massachusetts, and I'm not going to share where. I'm not going to tell you where. To be just giving away too much information. The area that we had gone to or we lived in, to be able to go to a super Walmart, you had to travel close to an hour. Granted, super Walmarts, they change and things like that. But part of the reason we went there, if I remember correctly, was there was it was just to get out of the town we lived in for a day, go out for a drive. Gas was really, really cheap back then. I'm talking like 89 cents a gallon still, or at least at the one gas station that we went to, we could get it for 89 cents because there was a bit of a gas war going on with a couple other stores there. In order to make that trip, you have to plan for frozen foods, an ice chest with ice, or one of those cooler bag type deals that are supposed to be insulated to keep things cold, or measures like that you have to take even in Massachusetts. I know it sounds ridiculous to have to make that kind of planning for Massachusetts. If you don't know, Massachusetts, a lot of your summer days don't even hit 85. If it hits 90 degrees for 2 or 3 days, it's like there's something majorly wrong, and everybody's like seriously worried. It's not like the South. Are you sure you contacted the location on South John B. Dennis, God's girl? If if okay, thank you very much for checking that out. However, the problem stands as being I still question when they purchased the milk. The video shows they have a window open, but her jacket, windbreaker, whatever you want to call it, the hood of the jacket still not being affected by the wind. It's still a problem. Superhero loves Akita. Thank you. That's actually a really interesting point. I'm not going to put that up on the screen. I'm sure everybody can read it, but that's a really interesting point. Alicia, that's for a whole nother video. They had two phones each, plus an extra phone. Okay, that's a fair point, and I thank you. I really do thank you for looking into that. I honestly did not think about asking the store because, like I said, that store location did not open. I'd say, but maybe 8 months before Summer went missing. That is still a fairly new location for Priceless. I always say, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I still have issues with the video. It raises red flags to me. There's something about this video that just does not, I would say, does not stand to merit any longer. I have no problem with being wrong, but I'm still going to ask the question and bring a point that others may not have thought about that occurred to me. Hello, Sugar Mama. Thank you for coming out. I'm going to do something that once in a while I do. I don't do this all the time. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and let's do this. Hang on one second here. Oh wow, StreamYard's made some changes. Okay, I never noticed that before. If anybody wants to come up and join me, now again, I'm going to say that if you are a creator, you're going to get priority on that. About being able to join me on the stream. Folks know when I get into a map, it takes a long time because we really get into it. But there really wasn't a lot to show you, but to zoom in on downtown, and I'm just going through the tabs of things we talked about and pointed out here today. So I hope I didn't disappoint anybody, but there wasn't a whole. It was more of just like a Google Earth type of deal showing a particular location. Liplock, you and I will have to email. We've joked, we've talked about it. We've exchanged emails, but you and I got to set something up either for a Sunday or a Tuesday. It's probably going to be the best day for us to do something together, with my work schedule and whatnot. So we'll email and get that set up because I think you and I would actually have a really awesome live going. We'll leave that pinned up at the top just in case anybody wants to join. Little butterfly kisses. Thank you very much. Lip lock no more. That's exactly why I'm willing to, even though I was shown to be somebody did a little bit more work than I did and said, hey, look, they carried it at one point. Great. I'm glad somebody looked into that, because with my channel, that's exactly what I try to inspire others to do. I don't intentionally leave off information, but I want to be inspiring others to really dig into this and do more research and to question others about it, because if I'm questioning it, others need to as well. I haven't said it yet today. 6/15/2021. Miss Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Approximately 4 foot tall, weighing 30 pounds. Went missing. My mods like to put up the full description of what TBI puts out there, and rightfully they do that, and information does need to be put out there. But if you go off of what recently has come out, the information that has come out about the outfit, they describe her as being gone missing in. Whether it's this jacket or maybe a tank top or a t-shirt that's underneath, parents gave 6 descriptions in 24 hours of what she looked like. We were talking about it just not too long ago. What is the purpose of why this whole business of Candace starting her own YouTube channel, getting that off the ground is? They want everybody to forget about Summer. LeBlanc No More just a few moments ago was saying, you can't find answers until you ask questions. Every single time that I run into information or I think about Summer Wells, which is every single day, and the behaviors of the parents that they put out there, even though I may not make videos on every single thing, I observe and absorb a lot. I didn't put this out there where we're going to talk about, I was going to bring up what happened just within the past 36, 48 hours. I believe it was 3 different lives that Don Wells went back to back to back on at his hotel. And it's disturbing. I'm going to put this out there. If you guys did not see what happened and they did not try to cover up, I've lived in bad neighborhoods, and if anybody else lived in a bad neighborhood, that depending on what street corner you stopped at, and this could happen right in front of the police because the police are going to look the other way because they don't want to be bothered with it. And yes, I do mean this back in like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. The information that I came out with and found about the lifestyle of 110 Bent Hill Road and the information about trafficking certain items that might be illegal, he's back involved in that type of world. Lip like no more. I'm not saying much more than that either. You know, you and I, yep, you're right. Bing, bing, bing. Hello. Red flags, everybody. Go back and watch specifically the channel that has a 4-letter abbreviation. I think it's something like the WBLD the other night. Oh, we'll go into that. We'll go into that. I'll make a comment on that without a problem. Carrie, do I have the right channel that I'm mentioning? WBLD? No, Butterfly Kisses. This is a different one. This was after that, and I believe it was actually Friday night, not last night. WBLD. He did not try to cover up. Butterfly Kisses, exactly. Yes, there you go. There you guys go. You got it now. Watch it without kids. Watch it where you can pay attention to it. It's not so much what you see on video, it's what you have to listen for. A conversation that's happening in the background that the host goes, huh? Wait, what's going on? Trying to remind him that he's live when this happened. Was it last night or was it Friday night? I think it was last night. You have to forgive me, Mom. I woke up not feeling good this morning and I went back to sleep, so I'm a little bit off on that time frame. But he was live. Oh, Lip Lock No More. I found out what town they're in as well, and I'm not telling what town it is either. Yeah, it was just a headache, butterfly kisses, but my own fault. Not anything else. Just my own fault. Fell asleep last night without. Uh, I don't like to. I don't like to breathe when I sleep, so I have to wear a CPAP. Use a CPAP machine, and I went to sleep last night without my mask on. My own fault. There you go, Carrie. Carrie said it. Usually, when I get that headache, just being honest, time wise, things get a little mushy to me. But um, go if Carrie's saying it was 3 days ago, it was 3 days ago. Okay, so I was asked my opinion about the interview, Voices Behind the Wall. At one point, Sherry had said herself she didn't want to do it. She had reservations about doing it because of what happened in the past. And I cannot blame her for having those reservations. And another channel that are very, very familiar with the Wells and very supportive of the Wells was also actually playing this last night. So the conversation started off with being Voices Behind the Wall and Dudley. For just as much as I believe the 911 calls will not be released until somebody is charged, Butterfly Kisses has exactly what I believe as well. Regardless of his past, of what he used, what he did, what illegal substances he did, when he did them, and recently his arrest, what was it, about a month and a half ago now, for what looks like to be dealing more than using. I've said it before and I'll say it again. With all the one particular fatal drug that is going around and getting mixed in with other illegal substances, it's a good thing that he got arrested, because of all the other suspicious deaths, demises, however you want to say it. I really don't care what YouTube says about that. I believe it's a good thing. Because I believe he's one of the people that they're going to be watching and wanting for him to be a witness if it does come out that it has everything to do with the Wells, the donors. But folks, you're saying exactly what I believe. I believe Dudley. His story hasn't changed. And yes, Butterfly Kisses, I put your comment here up on the screen again. I was working towards it. They were attacking Dudley last night. They were personally attacking Dudley. They were not attacking what he was saying, his story, his information, the truth, or that he was lying. It was all personal attacks on Dudley. That to me says that he knows something and has been proven to not be involved. And they're trying to defeminate. No. That's not the right word. De-inflammatory. No. Uh, they're trying to make him look to be a liar. Sammy J. Sparrow, that is correct. It was brutal. It actually was brutal. It got childish, to be honest. Sammy J. Sparrow, that's not the word I was looking for. That's it, Miss Justice. That's it. That's the word. But Sammy J. Sparrow, you're right. The discredit. Miss Justice has the word I couldn't say. It was plain and simply childish. We can't attack what he's saying. We can't prove that he's lying because the facts are there. The facts are the police questioned him. The police searched his house, his father's house, at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know about you, but I'm going to stick up for Dudley on one thing. You ask him a question of what happened on June 15th, and he's saying, all I know is I spent the day working on my vehicle, went to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. My father's calling me saying, what the hell? Excuse my expression, but that's basically what he said. The state police are here searching my home. What the hell? They're looking for you. Nothing but cooperation from Dudley. Nothing but 100% honesty from Dudley. Admits he has had a problem with illegal substances in the past. Admits he got fired on the 14th. I don't have an issue with him saying it was 3 o'clock in the morning or being told it was 3 o'clock in the morning and him saying June 15th, because I don't know about you. I am actually a night owl person. I don't like going to bed at 9, 10 o'clock at night. I stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I still consider that to be part of the previous day, even though it passed midnight. And I don't think about the day being a different day until I actually get up that next morning. So I don't think twice about him saying, giving a story of saying 3 o'clock in the morning, it's being his dad's house being searched. Where others want to make an issue that he's saying that it was 3 o'clock in the morning on the 15th. Alicia, I'm not getting into the politics of that. I'm going to leave that be in the chat. Whether you agree with that or not, we are 100% for Summer Wells. And I say, despite what my opinion of what the outcome will be, we want either way. We want recovery or rescue. We want to know what happened to Summer Wells. We want that conclusion of they found Summer Wells. I think Cher's rudeness, though, was that she was trying to get back in control of her channel, her live last night, where she had completely lost control. When all the backstabbing and the climbing over each other and just to backstab the other person twice as hard as you, what they had done to you, to one person or the other. And if I was in that situation, I would have taken the same exact approach. I would have muted them all. I would have gotten it, put the smackdown on them, so to speak. Well, what Killer Looks had done, I would have done if it was my channel. And it should not have been Killer Looks that got on there last night and told him to knock the crap off. It should have been Cher. Or it should have been, actually, let me correct that. It should not have been Cher. And this is my personal opinion. I apologize to everybody if anybody is offended ahead of time. Frankly, I don't care on this one if somebody is offended. But Cher has a doormat of a husband who just sat there and watched all this crap happen and didn't open his mouth and say, that's unacceptable behavior here, and you two are going to knock it off, as a man should have done. That's my opinion of that. No, Lucy Cat, doormat is more appropriate in this situation. No, it didn't need a referee. It could have been controlled, but they let it get out of control. So I do blame Cher and whatever his name is for allowing it to get to the point it did. But at the same time, you can't discredit somebody by the means that they had done, which is go up there and go, oh, you lying, and talk over him at the constant point and just be like they were. You can't allow that. The only thing that really was the result of last night is the psychological state of mind. And it's gone around YouTube. It's gone around. You look at psychology and what psychology, or you look at what a doctor will say in general. When somebody has a serious drug habit, and I'm not talking about somebody that you occasionally will light up a joint, just being honest, guys. This is not that, just to be clear, I have no issue. I don't see an issue with somebody does that. We're talking about heavy drug usage. you stop mentally maturing at the age that you started using. So what we saw last night was two addicts that had at one point in their life have a serious issue. Put on full display put it out on Front Street, as I like to say. Common phrase here in the South. They put it out on Front Street for the whole world to see that they're stuck in the mindset of a teenager. The mental development stuck at the teenager level, and that is just my opinion. Alicia, I believe that she was, when she said that, she was saying that she was that Don was trying to get her to do another live with him, and she was hesitating about doing so. But when the opportunity to interview Dudley came up, as a courtesy to allow Don Wells to also explain or to give his 2 cents in a rebuttal, and it should have been left as a rebuttal. You interview the one, great, done. Get them off the channel, then allow the other one to step in and give their 5 minutes. That would have been a more effective way of handling that. Yes, Sammy J. Sparrow, I did see that. I did hear that. There was a point where she was struggling to say Andy Bernard. Well, folks, I only came on here tonight and expected to talk and for less than what I actually have tonight. I'm going to thank everybody for listening. The short of what I came on here to say tonight is that the video of that is attributed to coming down 347 or coming through onto Beach Creek Road from downtown Rogersville. I have major issues now with this video. I believe there's something going on with this video that I cannot say it is a legitimate good video. Kathy Marsh, does he though? We're talking about a teenage boy who, as a teenage boy, or somebody that was a teenage boy at one time, your mind's on 3 things: girls, girls, and your buddies. And in this case, you can actually include that he was busy watching TikTok videos to keep Summer entertained. Again, it's common sense that you're saying that he should have had as a teenage boy, but it should have been the responsibility of the donors, not a teenage boy. Liplock, thank you very much for coming out, joining us in chat today. I am actually about to end this video, so I do thank everybody for coming out. It is 8 o'clock. Sundays when I do go live, I do try to go live around 6 o'clock in the evening. I know that's not convenient to everybody, as it's mid-afternoon or it's supper time for some. I do apologize. But if you are part of the replay crew that does watch the videos of mine on replay, I want to thank you very much for doing so and for spending your time with doing so. That's interesting. Thank you for coming out. I'm sure you were lurking and listening. All right, folks, it's after 8 o'clock at night. As I like to end my shows, my presentations, or whatever you want to call them. Kathy Marsh, you're going to have to go back and the beginning of the video and watch over again because we went through that. Queen of Ossian, thank you very much for coming out. Everybody, if do you know where your kids are tonight? If you do, please make sure you give them a hug, a kiss, a text message. Make contact with them, a phone call. Make sure they know that how special you believe they are today. It could make a world of a difference to them. You never know when they're struggling with something and not communicating with you. Sammy J. Sparrow, thank you very much. I do typically go live on East Coast time if I go live throughout the weekday, Monday through Thursday, or even on a Saturday. It's usually around 8:30, 8:45 on the East Coast U.S. time, just so you have an idea of what time it would be. Otherwise, it's on Sundays. If I do go live, it's around this time of day. But the bigger channels are coming online as we finish up tonight. So I want to let everybody go, and so you can go and watch those other channels if you have interest in doing so. But thank you. Hope you have a wonderful evening. This has been Conversations Living Room with RJ. I am RJ. Have a wonderful night. I'm out.